For the last 71 years, we've watched some of the greatest moments in sports history.
The Celtics now lead 45. And West with a long jump. Russell deflected it and keeps it. Beautiful play. Feeds off quickly to Havlicek. Has been guarded by Krebs, who is holding back. Goes up. They jump long. Cousy throws it high in the air. And the Boston Celtics are the world champions. Oscar Robertson throws to Kareem. 7 seconds. Finkel has Kareem with a big pressure shot.
Hayes setting something up with Larry Bird, who gets it low. What's a move on Byron Scott? What a move by Larry Bird. Along his double. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. It's Kobe again. Portland have 3 timeouts. The Lakers have 2. Bryant to shot.
This fall, I'm going to take my chance to South Beach. Join the Miami Heat.
James pulls up. Puts it in. 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James. Timeout San Antonio.
Here's off the runner, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
But what if we went all the way back and redid it? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brandon here, and welcome back to episode 3 of the pretty much the resim of the NBA here, and we are in 1950, the 1955 to 1956 NBA season. We've done 6 seasons already. If you guys have missed those episodes, 2 episodes, go check them out down below. We do 3 seasons per episode, so it's gonna be about a 24 episode series, basically 70 years of being able to simulate up to where we are at today. But if you guys did miss it, I am gonna kind of spoil it here. So if you did miss it, go check those videos out before you continue this video. But the very first, 3 seasons, George McCann won MVP. The Royals beat the Knicks the first 2 years, and the Knicks beat the Royals in year number 3. George McCann is on the Lakers because that's where he was in 1949. And then the biggest NBA draft happened in 1950. Well, in 1952 it happened. It was Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit. Those were the 2 big names, and then Paul Arizin. So those were the 3 big names in that draft. Bob Pettit went to the Milwaukee Hawks, or the what was their first name? The Tri-City Blackhawks. And then they changed to the Milwaukee Hawks. Now in this video, they are the St. Louis Hawks, and I updated their logo, by the way. And then Bob Cousy went to the Philadelphia Warriors, and then Paul Arizin went to the Syracuse Nationals. So then in the 1952-53 season, Bob Pettit won MVP and Rookie of the Year. The Royals ended up beating the Knicks, and there was that matchup for the 4th straight year. And then for the 53-54 season, there was a big difference here. So Bob Cousy ended up winning MVP. And then for the Nationals, and then the Syracuse Nationals beat the Royals in 4. And Paul Arizin won the Finals MVP. And then last season, Bob Pettit won MVP, and the Hawks with Bob Pettit won and beat the Celtics in 5. And so Bob Pettit is now a 2-time MVP and a Finals MVP, and he's 1-0 in the final. So there you go. That's kind of the update on everything. I have changed. There has been 3 city movements here. So the Milwaukee Hawks now went to the St. Louis Hawks. I have that updated here as he is now with the St. Louis Hawks. And the Detroit, or the Fort Wayne Pistons, went to Detroit. So I have the Detroit Pistons as well, their logo updated, and as right there. And then we have there was another one. I can't remember which team it was. Hold on, let me find it. It was the Hawks. Oh, and then the Rochester Royals moved to Cincinnati, and they are now the Cincinnati Royals. So that's all the movement. That's all the updates. There was no draft class in the offseason. We do have the biggest draft class here in probably the next few videos, where we have Bill Russell and Sam Jones enter the league. All right, so the 1955-1956 NBA season is now over. Bob Cousy wins MVP, so that's his second in 3 years. So him and Bob Pettit, they're alternating here. 42.7 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, 8 assists. Wow, yeah, he actually did really well. And he also shot 45% from 3. Now, that's obviously something that I couldn't get rid of. So the 3-point shooting is going to be really interesting, and that's probably why points are so high as well. But hey, that's what we got, so that's what we're dealing with. 6th man of the year, okay. Dave DeBusschere wins defensive player of the year again. I don't know how many times that is, but he's won it probably at least 3 times in a row here. And then the rest probably don't matter. And then here's the All-NBA first team. We got Bob Cousy. Bob Pettit is on this team. And then let's see, second team, Dick Barnett's on the team. Dave DeBusschere, George McCann is on the second team. Slater Martin is on the third team. Arnie Risen is on the third team as well. And then there's your defensive teams there. So if you guys don't know, the first class guys are just filler players for the league, obviously. So let's go ahead and into the playoffs here, and every team should be 1 through 4, and they are. Okay, so we have no issues there, and no team should lose to a no team. So we can actually start the playoffs here in the second round, technically second round. And we got the Lakers versus the Royals. Interesting. Okay, so the Lakers are back to being a 1 seed here. They have Slater Martin on this team, obviously George McCann, and George McCann 27 points per game, 19 rebounds. He was the league's first MVP for the first 3 years, at least in the sim. So he's obviously a great player. And then they do have Slater Martin, who's pretty decent. So they are the 1 seed, this is going to be interesting. So we have the next draft class has Bill Russell and Casey Jones. And I believe the rest of the draft class is just a bunch of first-class players. So it's really just 2 players in this NBA draft. That means that the 2 worst teams are the Cincinnati Royals and the New York Knicks. So one of those guys, Bill Russell, is either going to the Knicks or the Royals. I don't really know record-wise. Actually, we could check here. You know what? I kind of want to make it a surprise. Never mind. So the Lakers, the Royals, the Detroit Pistons, the St. Louis Hawks, and then we got the Philadelphia Warriors, the New York Knicks, and then the Syracuse Nationals and the Boston Celtics. So obviously the 2 players that we are kind of keeping an eye on is Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit. So Bob Cousy is obviously with the Warriors, and Bob Pettit is with the Hawks. So this will be interesting to see if they can get there, because we haven't had a Bob Cousy versus Bob Pettit NBA Finals. So here we go. The first round here, the Royals, the Pistons, the Nationals, and the Knicks all get eliminated. So we have a chance here. We have Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit on this side. I always forget who's on which side. So yeah, the Lakers and the Hawks, and then we got the Warriors and the Boston Celtics. So here we go. Let's go ahead and simulate the first game real quick. The Lakers and the Warriors win. So Bob Cousy wins his first game, and the Celtics take a 2-1 lead here against the Warriors. So who do the Celtics have? They have Howie Shannon, the defensive player of the year. Okay, so that's a pretty good team. They take a 2-1 lead, and remember, it's in 5. The series is in 5, so it's a 5-game series here. So let's go ahead, simulate the round here. The Warriors and Bob Pettit loses, the MVP loses, and the Lakers have been eliminated. We got the Celtics and the Hawks, a repeat of last year, I believe, right? Yeah, the Hawks beat the Celtics in 5. Bob Pettit ended up winning the finals MVP. So game 1 goes to the Celtics. Okay, interesting. Game 2 goes to the Hawks, and then game 3 here goes to the Hawks. All right, so the Hawks take a 2-1 lead, and remember, it's a and I simulated the round. You know, it's gonna happen every video. It really is. I hope it wasn't a close series. Bob Pettit wins Finals MVP, and the Hawks win the 1956 NBA Finals. Bob Pettit averaged 38 points per game, 20 rebounds, and 4 assists. No, it was a quick series. It was an easy series. 5 games, the Hawks win, and let's get into probably the biggest draft class until Wilt comes in. Okay, so this is a big deal here. We have our first real player retirements. Bob Davies retires from the Lakers, and Red Holzman retires from the Royals. So Davies played 11 years at 37 years old. Holzman 9 years at 36 years old, and they both retire there. Let's see, Brian Green retires. I'm sure he wasn't very good. And yeah, I believe those are the only real players. And my game crashed. Awesome. All right, so we are here in the NBA draft, and the Royals, the Cincinnati Royals. They went from Rochester to Cincinnati. The team that went to the first 5 NBA finals and won 3 of them got the #1 pick. Was the worst team out of the 8. And I guess now they're in Cincinnati. So ever since they moved to Cincinnati, they've been trash apparently. And the Cincinnati Royals have Bill Russell. Well, possibly, or Casey Jones. We'll see. And then the team that was in Fort Wayne moved to Detroit. It's funny, the two of the 3 teams that moved cities have the top 2 picks, and that will be the Pistons, and they will have a chance at Bill Russell or Casey Jones, depending on who the Royals take. And like I said, those are the only 2 real players in the draft class. The rest of them are first-class guys. But just in case one of these 2 teams who really screw up, the Knicks were the 3rd worst team. So the Knicks will have the 3rd pick just in case they pass up on Bill Russell or Casey Jones. I'm sorry, New York fans. That's just how it goes, which is kind of funny that the Knicks were the 4th seed in the East and still end up with the 3rd pick, and they lose out on Bill Russell and Casey Jones. That's honestly pretty funny, not gonna lie. But hey, the Knicks will have a chance at Wilt, so you know, it works out for you guys, right? So here we go, the NBA draft. Who gets Bill Russell, who gets Casey Jones, and the Cincinnati Royals select, come on, Bill Russell. There you go. So Bill Russell is now with the Cincinnati Royals, 6'10", 215 pounds, and a guy who won in real life 11 championships in 13 years. Can he do the same? That obviously with the Boston Celtics. Can he do the same with the Cincinnati Royals? We'll see what happens. With the 2nd pick, the Detroit Pistons select Casey Jones. There you go, 6'1", 200 pounds, and Casey Jones goes to the Detroit Pistons, and obviously that's it. The Knicks pick the first-class guy, and let's see what happens with these 2 guys and how the league completely shifts. So before we start the 1956 and 1957 NBA season, just want to quickly go over the best players in the league at this point. So in 1957, we got Bob Cousy, who's a 93 overall, Bob Pettit, who's a 92 overall, Bill Russell as a rookie is an 87 overall, Rudy LaRusso is an 83 overall, Quinn Chase is an 83 overall, Dave DeBossiere is an 82 overall, Harding Risen's 81, let's see, Paul Arizin is an 80, and then where's Casey Jones here? Casey Jones is a 78 overall, but I believe his potential is really high. So yeah, it's an A-, so it's a bit higher than all of these other guys, because let's see, the highest potential we've got, I mean, these guys have decent potential, like Dick Burnett, A-, so he'll probably end up, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the potential, it hasn't really moved a whole lot, and it's just because of the settings I used, and I can't really remember what settings I did use, but I just kind of wanted to limit it, make sure that it goes all right. So hopefully Casey Jones gets really good, but hey, we'll see how hey, this is a simulation. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that's how it goes. But Bill Russell should be pretty good, and he should join Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit as the best players in the NBA. So let's see what happens. All right, so the 1956-1957 NBA season is over, and Bob Cousy wins his 3rd MVP, 2nd straight, averaging 50 points per game, 10 rebounds, 7.8 assists. Obviously, the points per game is going to be higher. You know, we've talked about this. Obviously, they're playing the no team, so the points are going to be really high. But, yeah, Bob Cousy wins his 3rd MVP, averaging 50 points per game, and his career high is 77. That's just something interesting that I want to check out, like, how many points has, like, Bob Pettit scored? Because, like, they're the 2 best players who've scored the most. them and like George McCann. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and look at like how many points Bob Cousy has made, or like how many points he's had in a single game, and then Bob Pettit, because obviously like here Bob Pettit made 29 field goals in the game, so he probably put up close to 80 or so. So yeah, we'll go ahead and look at that at some point. Bill Russell wins a Rookie of the Year. There he is, Bill Russell with the Cincinnati Royals. His highest points in a single game was 27 this season. His career high is obviously 37 in real life. But yeah, let's see, what did he average again? He averaged 13 points per game, 25 rebounds per game, and 3.9 blocks per game. 55% from the field. So yeah, the rebounds per game and the blocks per game is going to be really high. He's up to an 89 overall, and he wins Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sure he's going to dominate the Defensive Player of the Year award for the next, decade, maybe 2 decades. Here's the All-NBA first team. Bob Cousy, Dick Barnett, Bob Pettit, David DeBusschere, and Bill Russell. Let's see. So we looked at, Bob Cousy put up 77 in a single game. And let's see, Bob Pettit put up, only 58. Okay, 58. And then Bill Russell put up 27. Let's see, Dick Barnett's put up 52. So there you go. And then actually, where's McCann? Oh, McCann didn't make an All-NBA team for the first time. Interesting. Or a defensive team. So there you go. So there's all the awards there. Detroit is the #1 seed. The Cincinnati Royals. So Bill Russell is still on one of the worst teams. They are the 4 seed. Then we got the Hawks as the 3 seed. And the Lakers as the 2 seed. On the other side, Philadelphia Warriors is the 1 seed. The Boston Celtics is a 4 seed. The Syracuse Nationals 3, and the Knicks are the 2 seeds. So here we go. So we got the Pistons versus the Royals, who I'm not sure who they're gonna be able to use to stop Bill Russell. Arnie Risen is coming off the bench as well. And then let's see. Yeah, for Detroit, they have Casey Jones. How did Casey Jones do this year? I forgot. He averaged 7.7 points per game, 7.9. So he's not really getting a lot of playing time, it looks like. But per 36, 10 and 11. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna develop in 2K. We'll see. And then we got Bob Pettit and the Hawks as a 3 seed against the Lakers, and Bob Cousy as the 1 seed with the Warriors. So here we go. Let's go ahead and simulate this round. The Celtics, the Pistons, the Lakers, and the Nationals all lose, and we have Bill Russell versus Bob Pettit in the Western Conference Finals. Wow. Okay. And then Bob Cousy against the Knicks here, who have Ernie Vandeweghe, Harry Barnes, Harry Gallatin. Okay. Interesting. So here we go. Let's see what happens in this round. The Warriors up 2-0. And let's see. It's the Royals and the Hawks are 1-1. Yeah, the Warriors swept the Knicks. That was an easy one. So the St. Louis Hawks versus Cincinnati Royals. This is actually a big game. So I'm gonna actually kind of simulate game, or big series. I'm gonna simulate game by game. So the Hawks win game 3 over the Royals, and game 4 goes to, okay, so the Bill Russell does not get to the NBA Finals in year number 1. Not really that surprising, but we got, for the first time, a Bob Cousy versus Bob Pettit NBA Finals. This is what I've been waiting for the past 4 seasons, for these 2 teams to be going up against each other in the NBA Finals. So the Warriors take game 1. Game 2 goes to the Warriors. Ooh, okay, so the Warriors, the Philadelphia Warriors look actually really good here, and they take a 3-0 lead. And in game 4 here, let's see, the third quarter is now over, and they have a 12-point lead. Close to the 4th, and yeah, this is a blowout. The Philadelphia Warriors are going to beat the St. Louis Hawks, and the Warriors, and Bob Cousy wins the NBA Finals, his first NBA Finals, averaging 57 a game, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bob Pettit couldn't win back-to-back, and there you go. There is year number 2 in this video, and the first time Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit go up against each other, and it goes to Bob Cousy. All right, so the 1957-1958 season is over, and Bob Cousy wins his 3rd straight MVP, his 4th in 5 years, averaging 58.7 points per game, 14.6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And check this out. He scored 87 in a game. That is ridiculous. Oh my God. He put up 87 points in the game. And look at the league leader. He owns the league leaders in like everything. Like he attempted 43s in a game and he made 16. That's a little broken, not gonna lie. That's slightly broken. That's hilarious. So yeah, Bob Cousy wins MVP. And Bill Russell wins Defensive Player of the Year. 17 points per game at 27 rebounds. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. Most rebounds in the season was Barnett with 56, but Bill Russell grabbed 44 this season, which isn't bad, not bad. His career high is 51, which is absolutely ridiculous. Most improved player is Casey Jones, so he is starting to play more. He's up to an 82 overall, so that's good to see. So I'm glad that the 2K isn't like ruining him. 12.5 points per game, 10.5 assists, not bad. And Luke Walton is apparently your coach of the year. So anyways, let's see what happens and if Bob Cousy can win his second straight title. All right, so here in the NBA playoffs, we have the Royals going up against the Lakers, the St. Louis Hawks going up against the Detroit Pistons, and the Warriors going up against the Nationals, and the Knicks going up against the Boston Celtics. So here we go. Let's go ahead and simulate this round. The Royals up 2-0 against the Lakers. St. Louis and Detroit 1-1. The Nationals up 2-0 on the... Whoa. Okay. So Bob Cousy falling apart here. Your 3 straight MVP. And yeah, the former champions are down 2-0 in a 5-game series. So let's see what happens here. The Lakers, Pistons, Celtics, and the Nationals lose. The Warriors came back from 0-2 and won 3 straight. So it's the Philadelphia Warriors against the New York Knicks, and it's Bill Russell against Bob Pettit once again. So here we go. Simulate this round here. The Knicks are up 2-1. The St. Louis Hawks are up 2-0 against Bill Russell. And the Warriors and the Royals lose. And we have the Hawks and the Knicks. Bob Cousy and the defending champions lose against the Knicks. And Bob Pettit beats Bill Russell. And the Hawks have a chance. And the Hawks have actually gone to 4 straight NBA Finals here. And they've won, let's see, they've won 2 of them. They've won 2 of them. So Bob Pettit won MVP, Finals MVP in the 55, 56 NBA Finals. Last year they lost to Bob Cousy and the Warriors, and now they are back against the New York Knicks. So let's go ahead game by game and simulate this thing. Game 1 goes to the Hawks. I would assume the Hawks are probably going to win now that they have basically a dynasty here where they've made it to the NBA Finals 4 straight years. The Knicks win a game 3 though. And game 4 goes to the Hawks. And let's go ahead and simcast game 5 here in St. Louis. And it looks like we didn't have any close games here, unfortunately, in this video. So I apologize for that. I will jump into any close games eventually. But I mean, the Hawks have won so many, so we're not going to really jump in. But they blew out the Knicks. Holy crap, 156 to 85. They won by 71 points in game 5 of the NBA Finals. And Bob Pettit wins his, what is this? His 3rd championship? His 4th championship, right? Let's see. 1, 2, oh, his 3rd. His 3rd in 4 years. He wins. And yeah, the Hawks are NBA champions. Once again, Bob Pettit averaged 39 points per game, 17 rebounds, and he is up to a 94 overall. And that will do it. That is the episode, guys. Bob Pettit and Bob Cousy dominated the league. Bill Russell has come in, won Defensive Player of the Year his first 2 seasons. But other than that, really hasn't done much. He's gotten to the Western Conference Finals both years and have lost. So it's Bob Pettit and the Bob Cousy show until we'll see what happens if Bill Russell can lead the Royals to NBA championships, or if Wilt comes in and completely changes the league. Because basically in the next episode, we got Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, and Sam Jones coming into the league. And we also have the 1960s, the 1960 draft, which is actually going to be a really big draft as well. So the NBA is going to start to fill out, and we also have an expansion team. Our first expansion team will be coming in. The Chicago Packers will be coming into the league. So stay tuned for that episode, guys. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and if you guys want to see more of this series and the series continuing, because the league is going to start to get packed, and more teams are going to start to come in. It's going to get real fun when Kareem comes in the league, Bird, Magic, obviously Will. It's going to get really interesting. So stay tuned for that, guys. Subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, which would be awesome. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in episode 4.